Hi all, this is a review of my Aussie US trade I took yesterday on the 15 minutes. Now, yesterday was a pretty interesting day as a lot of the trades I took had a similar sort of theme and a similar sort of lesson. And I was playing yesterday's trades in a specific way, in a more in and out way, to try and catch the big breakout move during a congestion. And I learned some lessons from maybe some repeated mistakes, but I still learned some lessons from this, and that is going to affect how I trade in future. So firstly, just getting onto the trade, I wanted to sell this one because overall, on first of all, as usual, over on my high time frame, I have more confidence in a sell happening. I have more confidence in a sell happening over here. So I was looking for good sell setups on a lower time frame. So I was interested in this one because on the 1 hour I saw that we have sellers coming down here, buyers push up, sellers push down, and then buyers come up and they start to consolidate at this seller's resistance. So there was some choppy move, ranging action at the resistance area. So that is a sign to me of sellers are probably building up their positions. So I tried to catch this sell move, and my specific entry logic was based on the following. So going to the area, okay, so my specific entry logic was based on the following. So I've got move up over here and the start of ranging action. That is what I believe sellers were putting up their positions. Ranging action was starting from around here to over here, and then move down, and then another bit of ranging action below this sort of breakout. And so I got in right over here, thinking, okay, that's the breakout. That's where the seller's ranging action was happening. So I was thinking, okay, this is the breakout. It should not really go back up. This sell is going to go down from here. So that's why I got in stops above this area in it to allow for some sort of spikes up for liquidity, up for sell liquidity. So immediately after the trade, it went down and just started to come back up. It narrowly missed my stop loss and then started to crash back down. And once it started to crash back down, I wanted it to break this area, because if it does not break this area, my logic was, okay, it needs to test higher. So I got out as soon as I saw buyers reacting from this area, because I'm going for a true breakout. So if buyers try to defend this area, that means it's going to be another move up, and it's not worth for me to hold on. Was my thinking. So my thinking was it was not worth for me to hold on, because it would put me in drawdown once again, and therefore put me at a bit of a higher risk. Now, so I got out right around here. These blue lines were all my gradual stop placements. So you can see that how I managed this trade was I managed it quite actively to catch that breakout, and if there was any sign of the breakout not happening or anything like that, I was willing to get out and try again. So, but that's the key thing in this kind of trade management of trying to get the breakout move. I have to be willing to try again and again and again, as long as the bigger thesis holds. So I was thinking, I can play this kind of situation where the biggest thesis is just sellers building up their positions near a sell zone. I can play this kind of position in two ways. Number one, I can get in and put a decent stop loss, maybe even a wider stop loss, to account for bigger spikes, and I can wait through this sideways mess. So that's one option. And in that option I probably would be more likely to get the bigger breakout done so long as my read is correct. But the risk I take with that option is I will actually be exposed to a change in the market logic. Uh, so if, for example, buyers start kicking in from here and decide to actually break this consolidation towards the upside, which even though it does not align with my read, there's a chance of that happening, and so I'm exposed to um, paying more for my thesis being wrong. Whereas the second type of way I can play is I can play it as I did here, which is I can get in and test to see if this is going to be the breakout move, and any sign that it is not the breakout move, I must get out and I must try again. So the risks with this kind of approach is, firstly, I must try again. So that I should keep on trying and trying and trying. As long as the bigger thesis holds, I should keep on looking for re-entries. So that's the fundamental requirement for this active management kind of approach. Firstly, secondly, I must be able to take on that re-entry risk again, and and I guess this kind of active management approach is heavily reliant on not just one bigger time frame, bigger picture read, but also micro reads of when is the actual move down going to happen on this range, for example. So that's what I learned. My read has to be absolutely top notch to do trade management like this and try and catch the breakout move. And I have to be willing to try and try and try again, and there should not be any psychological hurdles preventing me from doing so. So, for example, in this case, I was distracted by some other pair, so I could not grab this sell down, because on this way up, I missed my entry on another pair. So there are some challenges with this kind of trade management. This is what I learned. And finally, it did not apply so much for this trade, but it did for other ones. It is playing this sort of catch the range move and exit if it is not the breakout move. If playing this sort of game, it is not worthwhile. It is not as worthwhile, especially with higher spread pairs, and combined with commission for my fee structure. It is not worthwhile for lower time frames, to do this on lower time frames, because I found that yesterday I made a fair bit of profit from trade-wise, but from this kind of game, because my read and everything was good, but the commissions killed me. So I'll be looking at how I can change my plan in today's trading. So that's all. I think good lessons learned from this trade. I'll be repeating some of these same lessons in the other post analysis videos. So thanks, and comments and questions are very much welcome.